What's going on, guys? This is the MMA Complex. My name is Josh.
And I'm James.
And it's back. We're back August 16th. It's a Friday afternoon. Sun's still out. Enjoying some micheladas here. We're just talking about Jungle Book, the live action movie, and Aladdin. You saw Aladdin, right?
Yeah, it was good. Really good actually. It was, I was against Will Smith being the genie, but he did a really good job.
Yeah.
The songs were good. The movie was great. I thought Jafar could have been a little bit different as far as the way he looked.
Yeah, I thought this one wasn't as menacing. He was
a bit too young. He looked like an average guy, but for the most part, it was good.
Yeah. I don't know about the live action Disney movies. They've been getting mixed reviews. Some of them like the only problem I had with Jungle Book. Actually like the Jungle Book live action. I just didn't like some of the renditions of the songs. I didn't see a reason for them to change it up so much. Like what the Christopher Walken did, King Louis, the song was kind of flat. It was almost just, there was no music, and it was just Christopher Walken's old voice kind of like singing.
That's weird.
Yeah, and it didn't work for me. It was not the same at all. So some of these I haven't seen it. I think I caught a little bit of Dumbo, but that's about it.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much live action Disney made. I think Dumbo, Lion King, Aladdin, Jungle Book. I think Cinderella, right? Is out there.
Cinderella's out there. Cinderella was one of the first ones that kind of went under the radar, though.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, that one was a big one. Though. The Beauty and the Beast one was a big one. I saw that one actually. I saw that one.
Good.
Mm-hmm. That one was good. That one was I think one of the closest ones. That one and Jungle Book were very close to the original.
Mm.
Yeah, like the guy who played Gaston was really good. All the versions of the songs that they put out, what's her name? Emma Watson was Belle.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of guys like Emma Watson. She's cute, but she doesn't have that I don't know, that thing that does it for me, really.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe because I just see her as a Ronnie.
Yeah,
nothing else.
She has a very innocent, almost too innocent.
She's too much. Yeah, she looks too much like a little girl.
Yeah,
and not like a princess, like an adult princess.
Even older, I still feel like I don't know, I don't know.
No,
she's not. It's not like she's unattractive. No, she's attractive, but it's weird. It's different.
Yeah.
So that was really good. Yeah, the live action Beauty and the Beast, it was good, but it didn't have it didn't wow at me. It didn't it didn't have the same. None of these movies have the same magic as the original.
Oh yeah,
Disney magic. The same feel. They don't tug at the heartstrings.
Because you're right. It is kind of awkward because there's live action.
Yeah, and they change up a lot of things. They try to mix it up with the songs and all that stuff, and sometimes it works, and most of the time it doesn't. But yeah, did you catch the fights from Uruguay over the weekend?
I think it cost
last weekend. I know it's a little late for us, but to be talking about these, but
what was the co-main event for that fight? Oh, it was Mike Perry.
Mike Perry.
And the main event was
Valentina Shevchenko and Carmouche.
Yeah, it was a flat card.
It was a flat card.
I think Mike Perry was the fight of the night.
Yeah.
I
felt bad for the Uruguay crowd. I was like, damn, you guys, was it their first event in Uruguay?
I think so.
Uruguay? Yeah, I think I just damn, this entire time, I'm sure you guys, you had a bunch of fans in there waiting for a UFC to come to your town.
And you get that card.
And that's the card you get.
But you know what, watching that main event was really frustrating. What was Carmouche's game plan?
I don't know. Stay on the outside, not get hit. I don't avoid damage, and
for her to say that she can beat her and she gets another chance, there's no way.
For me,
she got dominated.
I think she was. Let me see. Let me check this thing. I want to make sure it's all good.
Mm-hmm. This Carmouche's game plan.
So for me, when I was watching the fight, I was in my head, I was thinking she's probably content with just getting a 5-round decision, making it lasting through the fight, and just having something to
Like hang on to?
Yeah. like yeah, and then going back home and people around her being like, hey, you win all 5 rounds of the champ. You can't,
Yeah, too bad it was a one-sided
don't,
fight.
yeah, don't put your head down. You did good. You win all 5 rounds. You had your, this moment, that moment.
She had no offense
No
whatsoever.
offense. And then it's not Valentina's fault necessarily. Yeah, you would think the champion's expected to go out there and just dominate, but a lot of times you got to play it smart. And she played her fight, and
Yeah.
then Carmouche wanted her to engage, and she did at times and tried to finish the fight. But she played it. I would say Valentina maybe had played it safe, but she's got a lot to lose because you lose to Carmouche. Let's say you get
Hmm.
clipped with something.
I mean, Liz Carmouche is 35 years old. I think this is the last time we're going to see her in a
Oh
title
yeah,
fight.
yeah, yeah,
For her to to think that she has a chance with Liz is like, come on.
yeah. Or Valentina. Yeah, Valentina has a yeah,
Yeah, Valentina. I mean,
yeah,
Liz Carmouche has a chance with Valentina for a third crack. Is like, come on.
yeah.
That's wishful thinking.
It is, and yeah, watching that fight, that's what I thought the whole time. I'm like, okay, she's content with just lasting as long as she could. That's
Yeah.
it. Valentina, it, yeah, again, is she expected to dominate and win and get a finish and wow the crowd? Yeah, in some way, there's a responsibility coming with that for every fight, really. And to be a champion, it's kind of in the back of your mind that you need to do something of that sorts because you want to sell your brand and you want people to watch your fights. And the more people that watch your fights, the more negotiating power you have when
Mhm.
gets to the table. I don't think she did herself any favors, but I don't think she necessarily hurt herself. I think it was a fight that just was just to happen, just to have a fight. That's it. There wasn't
Mm-hmm.
anything in that fight where I was like, okay, this moves her more, this puts her back. It just didn't really do anything for
Mm-hmm.
her. Didn't do anything for her career.
And while we're on the topic of Valentina, what do you think? Like, what's your take on this whole Henry Cejudo calling himself the undisputed
He wants an
intergender champ?
intergender champ. It's
It's
just
like,
it's a Hudo doing his thing. Um, I don't mind it. It's funny, or I guess it's funny to some people.
but a grown man hitting a girl, it's like,
No, no, it will never happen. And I don't even think he necessarily wants it to happen. I think he's just trying to make a viral video, or something like that.
mm,
That's it. I don't think he necessarily
mm.
expects it to happen. I think did she have a response to it? I think she
Yeah,
did, huh?
she accepted the
Yeah, she
challenge.
accepted the thing, even though know very well that it's not going to happen. There's no
Yeah,
way.
no commission with commission
No,
then.
no way.
No,
Uh,
yeah.
I was impressed by is Valentina's Spanish.
Oh yeah, she's fluent in Spanish. Yeah,
Yeah, but like
yeah,
straight up fluent in
yeah. I've
Spanish.
heard her before. I've
Yeah,
heard her like interviews in like the Spanish MMA side. Yeah.
like legit Spanish, and
Hmm.
it's like you can see it. It's a little like way she says things. I'm like, damn, no, she really knows her shit. Like
Was that your first time listening, like hearing her speak Spanish?
to that length, yes.
Mm.
Like I've heard her say Spanish, speak Spanish
Mm.
here and there.
Yeah,
But
I've seen like full interviews.
yeah, to that, crazy man. I was like, extremely marketable. So attractive girl, an
Oh,
amazing
very.
fighter.
Hmm.
Every time she does her dance, it reminds me of like a Street Fighter character, like Cammy or something,
Yeah, yeah.
or like Chun Li doing
Like
the
Vega, huh?
yeah, or Vega, like yeah, like it's exactly like Vega, right? Doesn't he do
Hmm.
the whole thing and he
Yeah,
takes a mask off and he holds it
yeah.
up?
Hmm.
Yeah, reminds me of that. That's
Hmm.
why. So I always loved fighting, and I always loved like the UFC because they would have fighters from different countries, and they all had their own little thing, and the Russians looked like the Russians, and
Not
you
anymore.
know, not anymore necessarily, but yeah, yeah, not anymore really. But they had at one point where they had like distinct looks, and it had that Street Fighter feel to it. Like you have like Brazil, like it's like you every time you picture like a fighter from Brazil and Russia, you picture that Street Fighter map.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah, yeah. So
Round one, fight.
I picture that, and then it reminds every time I see Valentina, I think of Street Fighter. It is like she has reminds me like a real life Street Fighter character.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I was gonna say, I totally forgot now.
How bad do you think the numbers are for that fight?
Pretty bad
Got to be,
because it was an early card as well.
got to be. It's got to be bad.
It was an early card. Oh, I remember to say, our friend Alima McFarlane, she was in this Commissioner's Corner,
Yeah, yeah, she
and
was there.
she got tattooed. I think she got her lip tattooed.
Mm-hmm. And she have puta, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was like an inside joke.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
but is it spelled wrong?
they wanted to write puta,
Mm-hmm.
but I think she pronounced it wrong. So I think they wrote punta.
I was gonna say punta,
Yeah,
or was it? Did they do it on purpose and put punta
I think
because she probably says it
Alima kind
punta?
of like explained the story on the area show,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
but I think that's what she said. But she said that her dream fight would be her versus Liz.
Wait, Elima and Liz Carmouche?
That's her dream fight. She said.
Really?
She said that she likes the whole idea of student versus teacher,
Oh, damn.
and like if the student wins, it's like the teacher passing the torch.
How did Liz feel about that?
I don't know, but she said that she loves Liz and they're like best friends. But if she can fight one person, because I think asking her about her and Valentino, is that her dream matchup? She goes, no, my dream matchup was me and Liz, just because I like the storyline.
That's interesting. That's awkward because
Yeah,
they're at the same gym, and it's
Jim.
not a very big gym. It's like
I'm surprised they're both still with Manny,
yeah, they're still over in that
the
uh,
SD area.
yeah. That's crazy. And I think she was. They had the family. Was it Family Feud episode? I don't know if it
Oh yeah,
aired
this
yet.
past Sunday.
Yeah, it aired. Alima's a friend of the show. She's been on the show a couple times. We every time we see her, say hi and all that. Um, Great champion over there in Bellator.
Yeah.
You know what? If UFC ever lets it go, I'm sure Liz will probably jump over to Bellator, have a couple of fights over there, and we could probably end up seeing that happen at some point. Maybe
Yeah.
that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that was last Saturday. What else has happened over that weekend? I don't think there was that much over there. That was like the biggest fight over the weekend, huh?
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah. The Mike Perry nose situation. Did you see it? Like,
Yeah, I saw like well, the fight was brutal.
yeah. Did you agree with the decision? I thought it was. I could see a split. It was,
It was a close fight. But
no,
it wasn't a robbery. I don't think it was a
no,
robbery.
no. Felt
But
bad for him because you have a broken nose and you lose the fight. It's just like
that was a really,
he's
really,
gonna be
really
out.
bloody.
He's gonna be out for almost a year. Probably won't see him until like next summer.
Yeah, those shots that he was taking was
Yeah,
crazy.
because I heard the recovery on that is around 6 months.
Yeah.
And then training and getting used to being hit in the nose again. That's gonna take time.
Jeez.
So you're looking at probably almost a good year for him to be out. Yeah, I mean, not much to say on some of these fights. Just the last couple of cards, man. I find myself just like barely even paying attention. Like it's like I'm gonna watch them because it's just fights, and I love watching fights anyway, and I'll just have them on just to have them on. But like I'm most of the time during these last couple of cards, I'm just like not even like
Paying attention, yeah.
paying attention or even into them.
I think this weekend's fight is probably the biggest fight card this year.
Yeah, maybe because also we're waiting for this card that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And we know how good that one is, and then we get these other like couple of filler cards, and it's just like,
Yeah, the last two were bad.
yeah,
This one's probably the worst this year.
yeah, this is probably the worst. And then these ESPN numbers they don't release them. I'm sure they're not good. I don't know anybody. I know people that are talking about this fight, this card, and a lot of it's not just because of Nate Diaz. A lot of people are bringing up Nate Diaz, but a lot of them are bringing up Stipe and DC.
Yeah, I mean the fight that I'm most looking forward to
Casuals,
is Yoel Romero and then the DC fight. I mean the Diaz fight.
All of them. I'm looking for like all three of those main event fights are just insane.
Yeah,
Like it's just going back and forth. Who's 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 next?
I know it's gonna be tough to pick these fights.
I don't know.
I think the easiest fight to pick is from the three is the DC fight. I think the co-main event and your Romero is a who's. I mean, it's anybody's fight.
It's anybody's fight. Yeah, it could be.
It all depends on what fighter shows up that night, I guess.
Yeah, and since the other two are 3 rounders, you have more of a limited time window to really make something happen. So Pettis may come out strong and fade. Nate might come out and just come out strong the entire fight, and Nate doesn't really fade. Or Pettis could stop him with a body shot. We're talking about that, like as
Yeah.
Pettis' options of winning, probably a body shot or a head
See,
kick.
but it's not a 5 round fight.
Yeah, it's not a fight round fight. I wish. I wish all of them were fight round fights.
Yeah. The last three, especially.
That Paulo Costa and y'all remember that? That's just like two beasts just going at it, man.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm trying to like come up with different scenarios in terms of how like I see that fight playing out, and it's just like I hope it's not boring. I hope it's just not a
Yeah.
standstill of like Paulo Costa leg kicking
Yeah.
Romero kind of doing these flurry little punches that maybe
Like
one of them lands.
just fainting the whole time and
Yeah,
going in a
feints
circle.
and no one wants to engage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then like the whole like John Jones like storyline is really annoying too.
like in terms of her.
Like for like anytime DC fights, it's like John Jones is always in the conversation. I can see
Yeah,
why, but just focus on the fight. I don't know why they feel the need to bring John Jones in.
yeah, yeah. I think because it's the elephant in the room. It's people associate them two with each other, and they're both active right now. They're both champions, and it's just like we all know DC is like towards the end of his career.
This might be his last fight.
This might be his last fight, so it's everybody's kind of like wondering, are we gonna get to see that third fight? Um,
I I think that that fight at 205 is not really intriguing. I think the fight at heavyweight is the most marketable fight that fight can take place in is at heavyweight. Just
yeah,
because DC is undefeated at heavyweight and everybody wants to see John Jones at heavyweight.
yeah.
So I think that's a marquee fight at heavyweight. I think them rematching at 205 doesn't do much for me.
No, I don't know. I mean, I think the most competitive fight between the two. For me, I think is at light heavyweight. I think I know a lot of people are saying that it's going to be different at heavyweight, and maybe, but I think it's just more of a cardio issue at heavyweight. People are saying, oh,
For John Jones?
for both,
Mm.
like if it's like the way they fight, like a 5 round fight, the way they fight with each
Hmm.
other,
Yeah,
I can see both of them getting a little winded. Like,
that's true.
and then it'll be interesting to see how Jones is when he has an extra pounds, maybe a little bit more muscle. Is he a little more tentative? Is he willing to take risks? Is he not? Does he have power going up? Because everybody talks about like, oh, DC having at heavyweight this knockout power that he didn't have at light heavyweight, and I'm like, I guess, but I just don't see how extra poundage, a few extra pounds, all of a sudden he's got knockout power against bigger guys. Like I just don't. I think he's just always had it. Is just at heavyweight he can land those punches on some of these guys
Yeah,
because
because they're slower.
they're slower. I don't think it makes so much of a difference, and that at heavyweight, I don't see the fight being. I actually I see a diminished product at heavyweight.
Mm.
Both of the guys are extra weight, low on cardio, and then they're going to go on these wars, and I see them being a little bit more conservative with each other. Whereas at light heavyweight, they're both in the best shape, and they're both ready to go, and they're both fired up, and they're both light, and they still have the power, they still have all their skills. I think it's a better, more competitive fight at light heavyweight.
Mm.
They're,
Interesting.
this is my take. I don't know heavyweight. I just see a diminished product but between the two of them. I see a diminished product.
Yeah.
You
Hmm.
know, each of them at heavyweight fighting other guys at heavyweight. It's fun. I want to see it.
I just
Especially
think it's
Jones.
because just the fact that DC's been undefeated at heavyweight
Yeah,
and that intrigue is there. Where at 205, it's like
yeah,
we know what's going to happen. John Jones is going to win.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
question mark at heavyweight.
Kind of, but for me, I think it's the same. The only I think it's the same result. I don't think it changes much. I think Jones goes in there and kind of dominates him, maybe even a little bit easier.
Hmm.
And I think the
Only,
the only difference is that cardio issue. But what I don't know what other
The
result.
MMA experts and Dana included when they're fighting for that heavyweight.
Yeah, they want a heavyweight.
Yeah,
I guess it's because it's different. It mixes it up a little bit. I mean, we have
it's for the reason that I just said,
yeah,
and that's why.
and we have seen it at light heavyweight a couple of times
Hmm.
already. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah,
been done before. It'd be just a different look.
yeah.
But in terms of competitiveness, that for me, it doesn't do much for
Too
me.
much, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's for me. That's just that's my take on it. But I would like to see it either way. Does DC need it? Does he want to go out on a loss like that?
I,
Possibly, most likely.
hmm
I don't know. I don't think he needs it. I don't. I could see it not happening if for DC's
I'll be
sake.
happy if it doesn't have him.
Yeah, I'd kind of be okay with it if it didn't happen. We've seen it already, and I don't expect much of a different result.
Hmm.
You know, the only thing is it's a different Jones, maybe a little bit older Jones, a little bit more conservative Jones nowadays.
Hmm. Very.
So maybe they'll have a different result.
Mm.
Maybe if Cormier goes in guns blazing, and Jones is a little bit more calculated and calm, I could see that maybe he catches him with something. Maybe it's a different Jones that we have right now at this moment.
That's true. That's you.
No, thank you. And so yeah, that's my take on that. But the fight this weekend, this Saturday, it's right in our backyard in Anaheim, right over here, right down the street, maybe 20 minutes away, 30
Yeah.
minutes away. Um,
It's crazy to think that because I remember before we started doing the show, Josh and I would be autograph hunters. We would be at the hotel. We
yeah,
would find out what these fighters are saying, and we would stay there and wait for an autograph. We would wait for these guys to come out, sometimes starving for hours until someone came out. And in a lot of ways, that's how we got a lot of our contacts for being so persistent. And guys kind of recognized us because
yeah.
we're the same two guys who would be crazy enough to do what we did.
That and we just go to events. So we went autograph hunt to sell. Really, it's
Just for
just for our own
yeah,
thing.
just to meet our favorite fighters.
Just go to different. Yeah, just we went to almost every event that we could in the area and
And then
in
that whole thing with
Vegas.
me and Dana kind of helped
That
too
whole
because we
thing.
got
Yeah,
a little bit of exposure and we got free tickets out of it.
yeah, that whole thing right there. And then yeah, we would go to a lot of these fights and go to a lot of the events and get signatures and take
Pictures and talk to
pictures and just
them.
be there, just be there. Now
It's a lot
it's a
harder.
lot harder nowadays.
I mean, you have a new
Almost
baby
eight
at the
month old.
house,
Yeah,
yeah, and
I
then
got a working full
work,
time.
yeah.
Schedules like
See, back
yeah,
then we had no worry. Just we work, but not the hours we work now.
not how we do now. Um, but yeah, different. Yeah, it's different. Now it's a more relaxed thing now. We'll take our pictures every now and then when we do
Yeah.
now we have a lot more access.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we get to
I,
see
I just felt
almost everybody
yeah.
regularly. Like
Yeah, it's almost like we're like desensitized in a way.
yeah,
Like we
yeah.
see them and we go, it'd be cool to get a
Oh,
picture, but
like
whatever.
so and so, or it's kind of cool. They'll recognize us, say hi, and
Yeah, that's the
now
thing
they know
too.
who we are in a lot
Yeah,
of ways. A lot of
yeah,
them.
and that's crazy
That's
too.
crazy.
To think that growing up, well, not growing up, but I guess growing up with the sport
Yeah,
and seeing the guys behind the camera and the guys, the fighters, and now you just
we're on the
talk to
outside
them.
now. Now we're on the inside in a bit, in a way, and we go there and we spend most of the first hour just saying hi to people and giving hugs and
Yeah,
handshakes and stuff like
yeah,
that.
it's pretty crazy. And then like we're the only two guys that don't work for a major outlet.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It
Which is,
is.
I think that's the craziest
Yeah,
thing of everything.
yeah. Don't work for a major outlet. We're just kind of on our own. We do our thing.
And
But
then,
we put in the work and
yeah,
we've been doing it for 4 years now.
crazy.
Yeah. So and like really putting in the 4 years. Like it wasn't like just, oh yeah, 4 years here and there, a couple episodes here and there, like a couple of events. Like we'd be like
Busy all the time.
busy all the time every week, like
Hmm.
interviewing fighters, going to events, putting out episodes, audio episodes, doing whatever we
But
we
nowadays
could.
it's like there there really isn't much in California anymore. Like it used to be like a
No,
hotbed.
it used to be a hotbed in terms of events. It used to be like
Like Invicta
everybody's
would
out here,
come, Invicta, the UFC, and Bellator would come
and
more
and a
often.
lot of them don't even show up in like this area. If they a lot of times it would be in the now they're in the outskirts of California.
Mm,
They're in like Fresno and like you
yeah,
know we go to Temecula ones. We do the Pachanga ones. We'll do San
San Jose.
Jose twice a year maybe. We'll do try to get to the Forum coming up. And then we'll do, Combate here and there. We'll do, we've only done a couple of LFAs, but they come here every now and then, but not
Yeah,
not that often. Glory used to be here all the time, and Victor used to be here all the time. Not
yeah,
anymore.
yeah. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, yeah. Not a lot of those promotions don't really come over. Even like Combate used to be here all the time, over in downtown. Now they're like
Well,
in
Mexico
they're in
or like
Mexico or Arizona or whatever,
mm,
and it's just like,
that sucks.
yeah, it sucks. So we only have like maybe a couple events in the area a year now.
Mm,
So that's kind of went down a little bit, and so we have to like we only go here and there, and then um, even talking to fighters, it's like I think with our schedules the way they are, being able to coordinate guests and doing all this stuff, and just even our with the baby and just everything, and our own individual schedules, and it's harder and harder nowadays. So if we can make it work, we'll try, and if it doesn't, it just most of the time lately it just hasn't. So
yeah, I just seen yeah, you're right. I mean,
yeah,
a lot of these fighters don't even respond
yeah,
anymore.
nowadays, yeah, yeah. So it's just we just we're just content in a lot of ways right now. We're just putting out episodes until things kind of happen,
Hmm.
or in terms of like our schedules maybe become a little bit more
Available.
available. Yeah, we're a little bit more available in terms of schedules, and we're working on that. So at least I'm working on that too. But so yeah, I don't know how we got off on that topic, but how did we get off on the topic?
Oh, okay, you're
Oh,
saying
because they're in
that.
our backyard. They're
Yeah,
over here in Anaheim.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So the cars this weekend, was it 241?
yeah.
UFC 241. Uh, I mean, aside from the main card is pretty damn good. Rafael Sensao and Corey Sandhagen are, top off the prelims. Devontae Smith and Kamal Worthy are the main event on the prelims. Derek Brunson and Ian Heinisch are on kick off the main card. Gabriel Benitez, Sadiq Youssef right after that, and then we get into the meat and potatoes here. You have Paulo Costa versus Yoel Romero. I think if it wasn't for these fights being so competitive and so intriguing, you'd probably look at this card and be like, "Oh, well, I mean, it's a little bit of a. It's not the strongest card." You have under on the prelims, you have Jody Escobar on there. You have Sabina Mazo,
There's a lot of local fighters and
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
local fighters.
like prospects on
Yeah,
in that card.
yeah. So it's not the strongest card by any means. It's just the best card we've had in a couple months
I think this year.
this year. Yeah, especially in terms of like the main event, competitive, stacked kind of fights.
Hmm.
It's these are very very intriguing fights, and I think
Yeah,
these three alone can carry a card easily.
yeah.
So, Paulo Costa, Yoel Romero. Have you picked? Have you? We're doing 5 picks right now, by the way. So, what do you think?
I'm gonna go Romero.
Damn, dude. I think I'm gonna go. This one's tough, man.
That's tough.
Pa-
I just see Romero's explosiveness and his wrestling be a factor in this fight, but then he gets hit a lot. I don't know.
and Paulo Costa, I don't know how he does when he goes up against a powerful,
A
explosive
wrestler.
guy like this,
Hmm.
and worrying about the wrestling. Paulo Costa's got some of the best boxing, I think, in the division. Just a hard hitter, aggressive, big Brazilian dude.
But can Costa deal with Durham on top of him?
I don't know. Or just can he handle the timing and the speed of
The
Romero
pressure.
when he
Romero's top game pressure is insane.
yeah. When I mean Romero when Romero's on, he's on, and there's yeah, in between his explosiveness, there's a lot of like just bouncing around, filling you out a little bit. So,
Yeah.
but when he attacks, and he goes hard. So it's gonna be interesting to see if Paulo Costa can handle that. I think just being a veteran status and having that experience and against top level competition, I'd probably go with Romero. But skill wise, I wouldn't be surprised if Paulo Costa wins just because he's a very tough and explosive kind of guy too. But he hasn't seen top level competition like this. So,
So you
but
pick Romero?
yeah, I think I'm gonna pick Romero. I don't know, but we'll see where Romero's at in his career now because how is he gonna look? I know he's a little bit older now. He's not as active as he once was. You know, we'll see.
Mm.
Nate Diaz, Anthony Pettis in the co-main event
Ugh.
of UFC 241.
I think that's another fight as hard to pick as Paulo Costa and Yo Romero. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Nate Diaz, who's been out for almost 3 years,
Yeah.
right? Anthony Pettis, who's been on a roll and had a little bit of a resurgence in his career so far.
Like I would have put that as a factor before, but I mean Nate Diaz, as far as Nate Diaz being out for 3 years, he's always in shape.
Yeah, he's always in shape.
He's always doing crazy.
But will time catch up to him at this point?
Yeah.
You know, is he past the point where he can take that much time off and still come back and look good?
I'm gonna go Nate.
Yeah,
His pressure fighting and his jiu-jitsu game is what it's gonna win the fight.
I think I'm gonna go with Nate too. I think it's pressure fighting. I think he's gonna back up Pettis. I think he's gonna eventually probably win the unanimous decision. Probably um, just put on the pressure, make keep Pettis on the back foot.
Yeah.
Pettis is gonna have some good moments. I think he's gonna throw some good kicks, and we'll see. I think the best chance he has, I think, in finishing the fight is probably a body shot, maybe kick,
Mm.
maybe even a head kick, so a wild head kick. But if he has Pettis backing up the entire fight and just puts on the pressure, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's gonna be interesting. Pettis is probably in the best shape he's been in a long time. I've seen, as far as I can tell. But I'll probably go with Nate, putting on the pressure and getting a win. Um, okay, so let's go to the main event. Cormier Stipe heavyweight title, part two.
I think DC redeems his last loss in Anaheim and retains his heavyweight championship. And I see him beating Stipe TKO from punches on top position.
I can see that too. I think we might have the same picks this weekend. We'll see how we do. You know, who knows? It could be Paulo Costa, Pettis, and
I
Cormier,
know, give me 0 and 3.
and Stipe. Because these fights are that close. It's almost like Stipe. He has to have the perfect fight, in my opinion. He's got to do leg kicks. He's got to do his jab. He's got to kind of use his size and his reach.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when he's breaking away from DC, watch for that right hand. You watch where his hand placement is, and just muscle him around. I think he's yeah. DC's used to beating heavyweights but those guys don't have the athleticism and the skill of like a Stipe. Stipe has something special at
Yeah.
heavyweight.
The thing that worries me about Stipe is that when he throws the kicks, he never defends his
Yeah,
chin. He always has his hands down.
yeah. But in terms of for Cormier's defense in this, I think this is is going to be Stipe's toughest version of DC. Like I think the last time they fought was probably the best chance he had of beating DC because he was like not as in shape. It didn't look like as in shape, not as motivated. DC looks motivated to prove a point.
Mm.
And it's going to be tough for Stipe because that's why Stipe's got to have the best fight of his career
Yeah, I agree.
tomorrow night. Um, yeah, I can see Daniel Cormier retaining. You can't bet against DC. DC is just he's a winner. He finds a way to win. He studies guys and he just has all the tools and the size and just everything about him just to make things happen. He's got power. He's got size. He's like a little tank.
Mm-hmm.
You know, small for a heavyweight, but big enough to compete. So it's interesting. Same with Nate. Same with Pettis. I can see that happening going either way. Pettis looking good. Pettis, having the tools to finish fights like that with body shots and head kicks where Nate does get hit and he does leave those spots open.
Mm-hmm.
Paulo Costa having incredible boxing to where he can back up Romero and just unload on him.
Yeah.
And who knows, put him down. So we'll see. It's an interesting card, really good card. We'll probably be watching it. We'll be watching it together here with some micheladas.
I'm excited.
Maybe some tacos or something like that. Get something going. So
Yeah.
we'll catch you guys next week. Brand new episode. And see you soon.
Yeah, you can follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all under the MMA Complex. Big fight. Probably the biggest fight of this year. Josh and I are going to...
This summer for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Josh and I are going to drink some beer and watch this fight, and next week we'll talk about it. So until then, enjoy the week, enjoy the fights.